What's going on, guys? GloveSaveHockey here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the most recent contract extension in the NHL between the Tampa Bay Lightning and veteran defenseman Ryan McDonagh. So earlier today, it was reported that the Lightning and McDonagh have come to terms on an extension. It will be a 3-year deal paying him $4.1 million a season. So obviously, Ryan McDonagh has been in the NHL for quite some time, spending some time with the Rangers, then Tampa, then he went to Nashville, then he's back in Tampa now. He has signed the contract at the age of 36. This contract will kick in at his 37-year-old year, and it'll take him to UFA until he's 40 years old. In accordance to the structure of this contract, it's just straight up $4.1 million every single year. There's no signing bonuses. The base salary sometimes can be higher or lower than that average annual value of 4.1, and it'll even out to $12.3 million over the 3 years. But it doesn't seem like McDonagh had signed for any signing bonuses whatsoever. Even in his past contract, he didn't have any signing bonuses, but as you can tell, $6.75 million cap hit. The base was different every single season. So if we want to take a look at Ryan McDonagh's play overall this year, obviously being a little bit older of a defenseman and he's not too fast. Sometimes when you're older, you can struggle, but I really like Ryan McDonagh's game. I think that he's been one of the more underappreciated defensive defensemen in the NHL over the past 10 plus seasons. He only had one down year a couple years ago when he was in Nashville, got right back up to that elite play the year after, and he's just continued it since he's been back in Tampa Bay. He has dealt with a little bit of injuries this season. That's why he's only played in 15 games, 6 points. But Ryan McDonagh has never been a flashy point getter overall. His time on ice and his career average is 22-32. So he's playing top pairing minutes, even a solid top 4 role. I'd still argue that he's a number 3, maybe even a number 2 defenseman on some teams. As you can tell with the points, 46 was his career high in 2018, 2019 with Tampa Bay. So you're never going to expect Ryan McDonagh to put up a lot of points, but they do have defensemen on their team that can do that in J.J. Moser, Victor Hedman, Darren Ratter. A player like Ryan McDonagh in Tampa Bay, I feel like is really neat. When he came back last year, Tampa Bay's defensive overall game improved a ton, and I think locking up a guy like Ryan McDonagh for a couple more years at a reasonable cap hit is good business for the Lightning. All right, so now taking a look at Tampa Bay Lightning's Puckpedia page and just seeing how signing this contract structures their team moving forward. Obviously, this year, they're very tight to the cap. The cap is expected to jump $9+ million next year. After signing this deal, Tampa Bay still has $22.08 million in cap space. Let's take a look at potential restricted and unrestricted free agents that they will have to deal with. Oliver Bjorkstrand, he was brought in at the trade deadline last year. He's a UFA this summer. He's kind of struggled this year. I don't really see a situation where they do bring him back unless that number is pretty cheap. Curtis Douglas is a Group 6 UFA, so there's a possibility that he does not get re-signed this offseason. If we take a look on defense, RFAs, we talked about J.J. Moser. Victor Hedman and Ryan McDonagh have obviously been injured this year. J.J. Moser has stepped up a ton and played really well at both ends of the ice. Darren Radish is a UFA. He's been playing really well on the first power play since Victor Hedman has been out. Really curious to see if they're going to be able to afford to bring him back. But signing this McDonagh deal, maybe they can bring both these guys back, no problem. Charles Edward Dastus, not too sure if I'm saying that properly. He kind of made his mark this year. He's been playing pretty good, filling in for the Lightning. He's 27 years old in a UFA this summer. If we take a look at net, they've got Vasilevsky and Jonas Johansson signed for at least another 2 seasons. So Tampa Bay has got room to go out and potentially make some additions, maybe re-sign some guys, and they're not tight to the cap as they usually are to make these decisions. All right, so Ryan McDonagh was picked in the 2007 draft. I always like to go back at the draft and see, was this a good pick? Was it just right? Or was it a reach? So Ryan McDonagh was actually drafted by the Montreal Canadiens 12th overall in 2007. Never actually played a game for the Canadiens. If we take a look at overall points from the 2007 draft, obviously Ryan McDonagh being a defenseman, he's not going to be top 12 in points, but honestly, he's pretty close to it. He's got 426 points in 1,025 NHL games. So I'd say about 0.45 points a game as a defensive defenseman is definitely really impressive. I think 12th overall is probably a pretty good spot for Ryan McDonagh being drafted. If anything, I would even put him into the top 10, and I think he's had a really solid career so far. So Ryan McDonagh, I still think, is a key piece to the Tampa Bay Lightning's defensive core at the age of 36. Just such a stabilizer, and his skill set is a little bit different than some other offensive guys. There's not a lot of defensemen that are willing to lay their body on the line and block shots and get into the dirty areas to be able to help your team be successful, and I feel like Ryan McDonagh has done that throughout his entire career. If we're taking a look at this contract, $4.1 times 3, $12.3 million in total, take him till the age of 40. There is a tiny bit of a risk here, him being an older guy, but I think over the last couple of years, the fact that he has been in his mid-30s and he's still showing elite results in the defensive zone, I'm not too worried about this contract overall, but because of the risk and the age, I'm going to give this contract a B+. I just don't feel comfortable giving it an A, considering he will be playing in his 40-year-old year, making $4 million. But in 3 years from now, that might not be a big deal for a potential maybe bottom pairing defenseman if things don't go right for McDonagh in Tampa Bay. I really like this contract overall for Tampa Bay, bringing back a guy who has a different skill set than a lot of defensemen on your team, and it's definitely something they need if they want to make a run at another Stanley Cup. Thank you very much for watching this video. Curious to know your comments below. Do you guys like this contract? Is it a bit of a risk signing him till 40 years old considering he's not too fast? Or is it kind of just right in case he does become a number 4 or 5 defenseman? Curious to know your thoughts in the comments below. Please like and subscribe and stay tuned for future content.